Our journey into Italy's past begins long ago, in the bustling streets of ancient Rome. Imagine the Forum, filled with vendors selling bread, olives, and wine. To buy these everyday items, Romans didn't use big gold or silver coins. Instead, they reached for their copper coins. These were the workhorse coins of the empire, used by everyone from the common soldier to the local shopkeeper. The most famous of these was a heavy bronze coin that felt solid and dependable in your hand. This wasn't just money. It was a connection to the power and stability of Rome, a piece of the empire you could carry with you every single day. Why copper? The answer is simple and practical. Copper was abundant throughout the Italian peninsula and the lands Rome conquered. This made it much cheaper and easier to find than precious metals like gold and silver. The Roman government could mint huge quantities of copper coins, ensuring there was always enough money circulating for daily commerce. This was incredibly important for a growing empire. It allowed the economy to function smoothly, from the grand markets of Rome to the smallest village outposts. These humble coins were the grease that kept the wheels of the Roman economy turning, making day-to-day life possible for millions of people. These Roman copper coins were more than just tools for buying and selling. They were also powerful propaganda tools. Each coin was stamped with the portrait of the current emperor. This was a brilliant way to spread the emperor's image across the vast empire. Every time someone made a purchase, they were reminded of who was in charge. The other side of the coin often featured images of gods, goddesses, or great military victories. It was like a tiny metal newspaper, telling the story of Rome's power, its faith, and its triumphs, spreading the message of Roman glory to every corner of the known world. For the average Roman, these copper coins were an essential part of life. A few copper could buy a loaf of bread, a measure of cheap wine, or entry into the public baths. Soldiers received their pay partly in copper, which they would use to buy food and entertainment when off duty. Children might have used worn-out coins for games, and the faithful would toss them into fountains as offerings to the gods. These coins were touched, spent, and saved by countless hands, each one part of a small personal story that, when woven together, tells the grand story of life in ancient Rome. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Italy's story became a patchwork of different kingdoms, city-states, and duchies. As you can imagine, its money became just as fragmented. The grand unified coinage of Rome was gone. In its place, local rulers began to mint their own coins. During the Middle Ages, many of these coins were still made of copper or bronze. Cities like Venice, Florence, and Genoa, which were becoming powerful trading hubs, created their own unique currencies. A Venetian or a Florentine, both small copper coins, were essential for buying goods in the bustling medieval markets. These coins looked very different from their Roman predecessors. Instead of an emperor's portrait, they often featured a city's patron saint, a lily for Florence, or the Lion of St. Mark for Venice. This was a powerful statement of local pride and independence. It showed that your loyalty was to your city, your community. This era was a fascinating time for coin collectors, as hundreds of different local coins circulated. Imagine a merchant traveling from Milan to Naples. His coin purse would have been a jumble of different currencies, each with its own value and design, a mental map of Italy's political landscape. As we travel into the Renaissance, we see art and culture exploding across Italy, and the coins reflect this beautiful change. The same artists who were painting masterpieces and sculpting magnificent statues also turned their talents to coin design. The crude, simple designs of the early Middle Ages gave way to more elegant and detailed images. Portraits of ruling dukes and popes reappeared, but now they were crafted with incredible realism and artistic flair. The coins became miniature works of art, celebrating not just political power, but also the Renaissance ideals of humanism and beauty. Holding one is like holding a tiny sculpture from that great age. In daily life, these copper coins were more important than ever. While the wealthy elite traded with gold florins and ducats, the average person lived in a world of copper. A stonemason in Florence would be paid in copper coins, which he would then use to buy his family's dinner. A visitor to Rome might toss a copper coin into the newly built Trevi Fountain, starting a tradition that we still enjoy today. These coins tell the story of the common person's experience during one of the most creative periods in human history, grounding the era's grand achievements in the reality of everyday life. For centuries, Italy was a collection of separate states. But in the 19th century, a powerful movement for unification swept the peninsula. In 1861, the Kingdom of Italy was born, and with a new country came a new currency, the Italian lira. To bring the nation together, Italy needed a single unified coinage. Copper played a vital role in this new system. The first coins of the new kingdom included the 1, 2, and 5 pieces, all made of copper. These small denomination coins were essential for knitting the economies of the formerly separate states into one national economy. These new coins were symbols of a united Italy. Gone were the local saints and ducal portraits. In their place was the profile of King Vittorio Emanuele II, the first king of a united Italy. On the other side, the coins featured the value surrounded by a laurel and oak wreath, classic symbols of strength and victory. Every time an Italian, whether from Sicily or Piedmont, used one of these copper coins, it was a small reminder that they were now part of one nation. The coins helped create a shared national identity, turning a patchwork of regions into a single country, one transaction at a time. As we move into the 20th century, the design of Italy's copper coins continued to evolve, reflecting the country's turbulent history. During the fascist era under Mussolini, coins were updated with symbols of his regime, like the omia, an axe bundled with rods. After World War II and the birth of the Italian Republic in 1946, the coins changed again. The king's portrait was replaced with symbols of democracy and labor, such as a grape cluster on the 2-lire coin or an olive branch on the 10-lire coin. These designs celebrated Italy's agricultural roots and its newfound freedom, turning everyday money into a statement of national values. For generations of Italians, the copper lira coins were a constant presence. Children would save up their 10 and 20-lire coins to buy a piece of candy or a gelato. You'd use them to make a phone call from a public telephone booth or to buy a newspaper. These coins, though small in value, were the currency of daily interactions, of small pleasures and simple necessities. They were the familiar jingle in a pocket or a purse, the tangible feel of Italian life for nearly 150 years. They are wrapped up in the memories of grandparents and parents, a humble but cherished part of Italy's modern story. Our journey ends in the present day, with one of the biggest changes in Italy's monetary history. On January 1st, 2002, Italy, along with many of its European neighbors, said goodbye to the lira and welcomed the euro. This was a monumental shift. The familiar copper-colored lira coins, which had been part of Italian life for so long, were phased out. It was the end of an era. Italians had a short period to exchange their old lire for the new euros, and many people kept a few of the old coins as mementos, small reminders of the currency that had served them for so long. But copper's story in Italy didn't end there. It just took on a new form. If you look at the euro coins in your pocket today in Rome or Florence, you'll find that copper is still very much in use. The 1, 2, and 5 euro cent coins are all copper-plated steel, giving them that classic, familiar reddish-brown color. These are the smallest denominations of the new currency, serving the same role as the old. They are the coins of small, everyday purchases. So, while the name and the design have changed, the tradition of using copper for the people's money continues. What's wonderful about the euro is how it connects Italy with its European friends, while still celebrating its unique culture. Each country in the Eurozone uses the same coins, but each nation gets to design the national side of its coins. For its copper-colored 1-cent coin, Italy chose a famous castle, the Castel del Monte in Apulia. This beautiful 13th century citadel connects the modern coin to Italy's deep medieval history. It's a way of saying, we are part of Europe, but we are also proudly Italian, carrying a piece of national heritage on a coin used across the continent. From the heavy Roman to the modern euro cent, copper coins have been a constant thread in the rich tapestry of Italian history. They have been used to buy bread in ancient markets, to pay Renaissance artists, to build a unified nation, and now to purchase a cappuccino in a modern cafe. These humble coins connect us to the daily lives of countless generations of Italians. They are more than just money. They are tiny, durable artifacts of culture, telling a story of change, art, and identity. Holding one in your hand, you are holding a small piece of Italy's fascinating journey.